So financial abundance is available for all of us, absolutely all of us. Yet, what we code up that financial abundance will give us is often the reason why we don't have it. So this topic today, freedom, choice, love, and authority, is because I want you to consider this. Your resistance to freedom or choice or more love or being an authority is actually blocking your ability to have money. So I think we can all agree that the money's there, right? The money's there. There is a lot of it. It's not like we don't see it. Okay, we can see that some people have billions, others have millions. We know it's out there. We know it's all around. And, there's not really much that you actually do with money. Okay, so to create it, you add value to other people, which just means increasing satisfaction or decreasing pain in someone's life. That's what it means to provide value. So you add value in a way they're willing to pay for it. Okay, that's how you create money. Then to multiply or grow the money, you buy assets that other people will rent off you or use, or that will simply increase in value. That's all you really do. So overall, it's pretty simple when it comes to stuff you do with money. But the truth is, many of us grew up in a working class or an employee mentality. Work hard, work hard, work hard. Working hard is what creates money, right? Did anyone else have that upbringing? And a lot of us get conditioned into a scarcity mindset. So yeah, exactly. So as children, we notice the things that our parents say or do, and we can learn this idea that we never have enough. Yeah, perfect example. Money doesn't grow on trees, right? I've definitely heard that one more than once in my time. So, we learn the idea we don't have enough, or that we work damn hard to have enough, but then we've got to be really careful about keeping it that way. Never allowed to stop working hard, never secure, always putting in so much effort to making sure we still have enough. And when your focus is on trying to have enough, not enjoying having enough, trying to ensure you always have enough, what's the silent instruction there? The hidden communication is that you actually don't have enough. You can't just have enough. You've got to always be striving. You see that? Your identity becomes, we don't have, we strive, we try, we seek. And that identity, it's often very much in the family, a family identity that we become part of, will keep you in the exhausting experience of always needing to do more and more and more, never able to stop, never able to truly relax or just be, because we're never there yet. And, we can be brought up with that belief being just completely on show, like not subtle at all, just spoken about, openly discussed and accepted. We'll never get there. That's just how it is in this family or in this area or in this town or in this business, whatever it is. So some people, they don't even hope for more. They just expect for life to be a continuous effort to make sure you have enough. Yep, family belief was have enough in the bank in case something goes wrong, saving for future catastrophe, saving for a rainy day. Yeah, exactly. And what's the silent instructions? Perfect example. If you're constantly in that fear structure, this might happen. We're afraid of that. We've got to save and save and save, accumulate. What's the real hidden communication there? And so I want us all to examine some other beliefs that we have floating around. So a lot of us learn early on, if you work hard, then you'll deserve money. As if you don't actually deserve it. It's just your actions or achievements that make you into a person who's deserving and worthy. Like smart people, they get really high paying jobs. They're smart, they work for it, they deserve it. And there's often this idea that freedom and abundance is given to you only after years and years and years and years and years of work and deserving. Only if you achieve a lot can you earn enough to then go and retire and have that freedom. And what about this consensus that most of us buy into, that you shouldn't be greedy, right? We adopt it as a rule. You shouldn't have too much more than you need. If you have much more, then you should at least give it away. You shouldn't be greedy. Greedy is bad. And people code up abundance with greed, right? Often the way they define abundance actually creates this block. I can't choose that. That's wrong. That's bad. That to have that much, that would be greedy. You know, the actual act of greed is really based in the fear of not having enough, coupled with imagining scenarios in which one wouldn't have enough and trying to preemptively guard against all of them, right? So when you think about that, living in the abundant structure actually won't lead to actions of greed because there's no fear of not having enough. You see that? But you can see how we code it up that way, right? It's not the truth of the abundant structure, but in our mental model, we can make up definitions that are just not useful, like abundance means greed. So who as a child was taught to feel guilty if you were greedy? I was. You know, you must share and not show off. You know, that was very important. Oh, and if you waste anything, then you're obviously not appreciative and don't deserve it. You know, you're naughty if you waste that, and make sure you finish your food, because a lot of people don't have enough. There's lack in the world. We get in the scarcity mindset that we can't waste a crumb. You've got to be vigilant and careful. And then we entangle it with these ideas of good and bad. We bring morality into it. Yeah, Kim, another one from my family. There's no such thing as easy money. Yeah. You have to work hard. If you aren't working hard, you're lazy. Yeah. Yeah. Ask someone else if they want the last piece of cake before you eat it. But what if I want the last piece of cake? Exactly. Exactly. All these little things, seemingly small and seemingly insignificant or well-meaning, they have so many hidden instructions, silent instructions. And there are just so many confusing messages in the world, especially about abundance and about money. You know, we see people give up stuff they love and do something they hate and complain about it, but never change it. And they say, oh, I don't really want to do this, but I'm doing it because it puts food on the table. It puts a roof over our heads. I'm doing it because I have to. This is just how it is. Like, I have no choice, is what they're really saying. We can see money as something we have no choice around, while simultaneously attaching the idea of choice to the other side of money. You know, when I have enough money, then I'll have all the choices in the world. And that lack of choice that we experience takes us out of being able to just choose what we love. We accept this idea we've got to do things we don't love to get this thing called money. And then, you know, then we can have what we love. And we all hate this long way round, but you shouldn't complain about it, right? Yes, very true. Many parents direct their kids to a career to make money rather than doing what they love. All well-meaning, not helpful. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You know, it's quite easy in the way that so many of us are brought up. It's so easy to learn that life is really all about doing things you don't enjoy out of obligation, which is the same as learning that you don't actually have choice. You're not actually the authority in your life, not a powerful creator. You're a victim to the system or to the way it has to be or to the rules. There's so much mixed messaging. We're taught to set up, we're literally taught to set up our whole life to be about becoming successful, which we're told means making plenty of money. Just like in your comment, Kim, right? It's all about making lots of money. Oh, but also they'll tell you, remember kids, money's not that important. You shouldn't care about money. Oh, but also we do spend all of our time caring about how we don't have enough of it and we need more of it. Can you see how confusing it actually gets when you really put together all the things you hear about money? So money can become this big, intimidating thing. You know, if we had more of it, we could go do all these things. Money represents all these choices and freedom and love and authority. But don't forget, it also represents greed and evil and selfishness and inequality. We make it into this big, complex, contradictory concept. So I want you to think back to how you were brought up. You know, what were you taught or shown? How did you come to understand money? Some studies have actually shown that where we position money in our mind is right next to family. So we code it up emotionally to be like a family member because we've defined it as this giver of things. It's something that gives us food, gives us shelter, safety, good stuff. And if we don't have it, we're in trouble, which is how a child sees family. Isn't that so fascinating? And remember, it's not just as a child that there are confusing messages that we're receiving. We grow up and then banks start saying, here's credit. Here's a plastic card. You can just go. Have this car, even though you can't afford it. Have this, have that. You don't need money first to buy it. Oh, but we will later ask you for the money, or else we'll say you're in debt, and that's bad. And we'll keep charging you more and more and more. You know, growing up, I always wondered how to make lots of money because that was going to give me freedom. That was how I saw it. But I also formed these beliefs like I either have to work really hard all year round and hate it, but make money, which could buy me a short time of freedom by going away on holiday. Or I thought the only other option was, okay, I still work really hard, but living in a location I like, where I can do things that I want to do, like surf or snowboard, but at the sacrifice of not earning much money at all and having nothing spare, but at least getting to enjoy the hours off that I got each week. That's how I saw it. I didn't see how you could possibly have a job that you love and enjoy on a daily basis, especially not while making lots of money. And on top of that, no way could you find one of those in a fun location. Like, you can't also live where you want to live. That was way too good to be true. In my mind, I had defined everything to do with jobs and careers as horrible things that you're forced into, that take away from your freedom and choice and authority, but are also necessary to create money, which I'd coded up as freedom and choice and authority. See how ridiculous it gets? We get into this weird paradox where we're sacrificing our freedom under the reasoning that we're creating freedom. So we end up either never having any freedom, never claiming that reward, or oscillating between the two. You know, we see it everywhere. It's usually, oh, yes, I get away for a short time. Oh, shit, I'm back again. Oh, yes, I have some free time again. Oh, I'm back doing work I hate, right? Has anyone ever had that experience or seen it in other people? Yeah, Kim, not just from my parents. Many of my friends act like there is a finite amount of money available for everyone. Exactly, yeah. If someone has great wealth, someone else won't have enough. Yeah, this scarcity, finite belief structure, which isn't really the truth. And you know, we really do see examples of money struggles everywhere. It is true, right? Even in people who manage to create a lot of money, like sports stars, you know, for example, Mike Tyson and others who have just gone through so much money. We see lottery winners who end up worse off. In the UK, there's a term for that. We call them lotto louts. So people find a way back to the way it always was. And, you know, I've realized that for me, I thought I was only ever allowed to have an existence of compromise. Like, I couldn't just have everything I wanted because money always got in the way. And I had the misguided idea that, you know, if I finally had a lot of it, then everything would be different. But I was always in compromise, always stuck in rule structures, never truly at choice, never truly free. See, if I was compromising, it felt comfortable, it felt safe, it felt normal. You know, I was following the rules, which means I'm a good girl and all the rest of it. But to actually have it all, to have freedom, choice, authority, and love your life, that seemed too good to be true. Not possible, you know, fictional. And probably or possibly not even right, like not okay, and not available to me. You know, that idea was okay being a dream. You know, I loved dreaming about that, but only dreaming, not choosing. See, it wasn't actually safe to have that as a reality, right? And the reason it was unsafe was because my subconscious created a sense of belonging by being like my tribe, my family. And my family had been ones that were working hard, compromising, surviving, and putting all the power in everything you've got to do in order to maybe, hopefully, have it someday. Like a lot of wishful thinking and not seeing the truth. So I want to ask you, is there anywhere in your life where you've set up rules of compromise? You know, I'd love to have this. But you can't possibly ask for that and that, right? Like I couldn't really realistically want both, right? And let's be honest, this goes far beyond just money. These belief structures show up in all areas of life. You know, we never got taught how to have it all, how to actually be truly abundant and have all the things we want all together, which is choosing radical freedom, right? Like I say, it's no rules, no limits, no compromise. You know, we can have a lot of resistance to having freedom, to having choice, to actually having authority over our day. Like me, I needed rules. I needed to be told, you know, someone please tell me what to do. Tell me what I need to do and finish by when, etc. So because of that, you know, seemingly separate resistance, I was actually resisting money because I thought money would give me freedom, choice, authority. So if I were to actually accept an abundance of money, well, I'd also have to accept all those other things. And if I did that, I would also have to accept that I no longer belonged in the same structure that was the way I was brought up. I'd be choosing something completely different to the family, something new, radical freedom, having it all in life. Like, what? Is that allowed? Is that possible? Won't I be judged? Yeah, Kim, I did have a job I loved. I made lots of money. I had choice, created the life I love. Then some unexpected consequences happened. So I've been blocking financial abundance because I've coded up abundance is choice, is consequence, right? So when you're at choice, you risk so many consequences. So having no money has felt safer because then I couldn't make a wrong choice. Yes, and see the instructions there. There is a right and a wrong. You know, and if things happen that I didn't really intend to happen, well, then I've done something wrong. Then I'm to blame. Then I'm, you know, maybe I'm bad. I should be, you know, I should feel bad about it. I should have consequences or be punished or whatever it is. You could see what else is there, because that is a beautiful example. And I bet there is so much more to kind of untangle there. Yes, it does. It fits right into money is the root of all evil. Yeah. So best not go near it. Yeah. And the idea of like, you know, if you do have a lot of money, what will you be tempted to do? You know, we have all these suggestions and connotations that we've kind of accumulated growing up. Yeah. So as we've looked at before, you know, what's interesting is how our subconscious seeks this belonging and safety. It seeks belonging and safety. And the way that it does that is by, in early years, going, okay, so how is life? How do I make sure I belong with this family in this way? And what is the experience? Does that make sense? It asks, what is the experience? You know, the experience of the family. So what we grew up with is what it codes up as safe. And the reason we call it safe is because we know it to be survivable, because we've already survived it. You know, for example, I can survive being someone who's always chasing and never there yet. But it's binary. You know, I can survive this. Anything else, I don't know. I don't know if I can survive it. So it's safer not to go there. Just remain how it's always been. So we must realize that there's actually no way to create and keep wealth unless we upgrade our subconscious, so to speak, and get it aligned to our new choice. So if it's conflicting, then that creates that, you know, oscillation, or it becomes, you know, out of reach. So there are two ways to create that level of transformation. One is to have a significant emotional event that completely changes your outlook on life. So for example, a near-death experience, you know, something that's just massively shocking and changes all of your coding so that it's basically, it's not safe to be as you've always been. Like, it's not safe to be broke anymore, for example. Other option, here's the alternative. You can just recode it like we're going to do today. So you don't have to wait for some tragedy or something really extreme to happen. Yeah, Kim, I can't believe how much is coming up for me with this. My family coded up safe as having just enough. Yeah, if you had too much, there was a chance of losing it. Right. Interesting. Yeah, amazing awareness. Perfect. Exactly what I want you to be doing today. Really looking into what's there for you. So that's why we're doing this. We're going to uncover, we're going to recode, because it's just much more enjoyable to create the revision of these beliefs and structures ourselves by choice, right? So the issue, the block, is often not what money is, because money's simply a measurement, right? It's a measurement of choice and value. It's what you believe it's going to give you. It's what you believe the world would be like if you had it. That's what your subconscious can't accept. You know, if you're finding that you still haven't created abundance, then this is why, these are the reasons why that resistance is there, basically. So you've got to consider, what would happen if I had it? So let's look at our relationship with freedom, choice, authority, and love, and abundance, and all the things. So I've got some deep questions for you. We've done a couple of them before, but we're going to move into some deeper ones too. So stay tuned. So firstly, I want you to consider what you would do if money was no problem at all, right? So you've got loads of it and you can't give it away. You just got loads. What would you do with life? And not thinking, okay, I'd invest it, because that's just aimed at creating more of it. The point here is you already have more than enough. You simply do not need any more money. What would you do? What would you really do? And if you were living that life that you say you would live, what would it feel like? What would that experience really be? Ask yourself, how would that be? Let yourself step into it in your mind, in your imagination, or just consider, if you were doing that, how would that be? Get clear on it. How would it actually feel if you were in that experience? Really, what would you focus on? How would you do it? How would you do life? And once you've considered that, I want you to notice how that compares to what life has normally been like for you over your life. Is it the same, or is it different to how it has been? That abundant life, how is it different to now? How different is it? Because think about it. The way you say you would feel if you had all the money is actually aligned to our true nature. Most of us are knocking ourselves out of our true nature because of this, I need to get money. I'm not allowed to feel that way unless I have money. Who likes that premise, by the way? That when you tune into this end result, it's far more aligned to our true nature. Because when you let go of rules and beliefs about what you have to do in life, then you reach the feeling of you just being a creative essence. Of you just really here to really live. So the difference between those two, how it would be and how it is now, that gap there, that's the equivalent amount of resistance that your subconscious has. Because your subconscious is saying, this is what's safe. This over here that we have right now, this is what's survivable. This is the way it is. So what we need to do is take that desired feeling and bring it in and experience it as our current reality. So next, I want to ask, what is money really then? What really is money? Because although this session is talking a lot about money, It's actually focused on giving you the freedom, the choice, and the authority in your life to choose to have life the way you would love to have it. Does that make sense? Because that's what we tend to believe it's going to give us. We've been conditioned into seeing money as the key or the obstacle to all of that stuff. You know, when you truly know and feel down to your bones that you create your life, then you realize you won't need to have all the money in the world in order to feel choice and freedom and safety and anything you want. You won't need it. And when you are really, truly in that structure, money does show up because you're no longer blocking the freedom, the choice, the authority. You already are it. You're already greater than the result, so you're not blocking it. That's when you exit the scarcity structure and step into the end result. Become a magnet for it.